Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about the chapter atoms and molecules. In this session, we are going to discuss about writing the chemical formula of compounds. How to write the chemical formula of different compounds we are going to learn now. Molecules of compounds. A molecule may contain one or more atoms. A molecule may be formed by the combination of atoms of same element or different elements, isn't it? So actually what molecule means the group of atoms. A molecule is formed by the combination of two or more atoms. So the molecule may contain atoms of same kind or atoms of different kinds also. That means atoms of same element they may form a molecule, and even atoms of different elements also they may combine and they form molecules. For example, if you see oxygen molecule, what is the molecular formula of oxygen molecule? O2. It means two atoms of same element oxygen combined together to form oxygen molecule. One more molecule, let us see example, water molecule. If you see water molecule, it is formed by the combination of two different kinds of elements atoms. Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. In this way, molecules may be formed by the combination of atoms of same element and even atoms of different elements also. For example, a molecule of water is formed by the combination of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, just now you have seen. All the molecules of water are identical. Yes, wherever you collect water and however you prepare this water, the combination of atoms in the each molecule of water will be same. Each molecule will be containing two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen in combination. It won't be changed. However you collect the water and from wherever you collect this water, the combination of atoms in these molecules formation will be constant and identical. Is it possible for any number of atoms of hydrogen to combine with any number of oxygen atoms to form a molecule of water? Will be it possible? If you combine the different number of hydrogens and different number of hydrooxygens to form water molecule other than this 2 is to 1 ratio, will it form water? No. So however you prepare water and however you extract water from wherever you collect, in the water, if it is water, the molecules of water will be containing always two atoms of hydrogen in combination with one atom of oxygen. This ratio is fixed for a substance. A compound is formed by the combination of two or more atoms in simple whole number ratios in the fixed ratios. It won't be changed. Okay. For all the molecules of water to be identical, it is essential that the atoms of hydrogen and oxygen that are present in the molecule must be in fixed numbers. Yes, that should not be changed. The combination ratio of the atoms in the formation of a compound won't be changed. It will be always in the fixed ratio. So if this number is not fixed, how could all the particles of water be identical? Isn't it? Yes. If the molecules of water are being all identical, that means the molecular formation will be happen always in the fixed ratio. Atoms of hydrogens and atoms of oxygens always they combine in the fixed ratio so that molecules of water are being identical. All the particles are being identical because of this reason. So each molecule of water contains two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So how to write the formula then? We are telling the number of atoms participating in the formation of a molecule is being fixed. Either it is a compound or an element. So if it is a compound, different kinds of atoms will be combined to form that molecule. Then how to write its molecular formula? Let us see here that. So while writing the molecular formula of a compound, we must keep two things in mind. So by using these points, we can write the molecular formula. What are those 2 points? First point is we must see the elements present in a molecule of the compound. Yes, what elements are present in that molecule we have to identify first, or the kinds of atoms, how many kinds of different atoms are present in the molecule is to be found first. Second one, we must see the number of atoms of each element present in that molecule. So first we have seen how many kinds of elements are present in the formation of that compound. Second thing, how many atoms of each element are present in that molecule. If you know these two, we can write its molecular formula. Now, if you take the water itself, what we have seen earlier, there are two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen are present in a molecule of water, isn't it? Yes. So its formula will be based upon this point. So two elements, those are hydrogen and oxygen. Their symbols are written. And next, how many hydrogen atoms are there? There are two hydrogen atoms. So it will be written as H2 like this as shown here. And next, one oxygen atom. So it will be mentioned with its symbol. Now the molecular formula of water is being H2O. So in this way, chemical formula of a compound can be written by understanding these 2 points, by observing these 2 points. First point is we have to identify which elements are present in that formation of compound, which elements are combined to form that compound, or how many kinds of elements present in that compound, that is to be found. Second point is how many atoms of each element are present in that is to be found. So if you know those two, we can write the molecular formula of that compound. Okay. Another rule is that if the molecule of a substance contains only one atom, subscript need not to be written in the formula. Actually, if there is only one atom of that element in a molecule, then need not to write the particular number. If you see here water itself, there are two hydrogen atoms, so we have mentioned that number of hydrogen atoms with 2 here. And we told there is only one oxygen atom in the molecule. So if it is 1, need not to mention here 1 again. If you write just a symbol of that oxygen, that represents the presence of one oxygen atom. Okay. So if it is one atom existing, need not to mention that number. If there are more than one atoms, that number of atoms should be mentioned as the subscript at the right side. Okay, that gives the molecular formula of that compound. Now let us see one more example. A molecule of carbon dioxide contains one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen, isn't it? The molecular formula of carbon dioxide. Now it will be, how can we write? What did you say in writing the molecular formula? First, you have to identify which elements are present in the molecule. Here it is mentioned in the carbon dioxide there is carbon and oxygen. Two elements are present. Now, second point to be observed is how many atoms of each element are present. How many carbon atoms they mentioned in the carbon dioxide? One atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen. So, as there are two oxygen atoms, it is to be mentioned subscript 2 at the base of this oxygen element. As there is only one carbon atom, need not to mention 1 as a subscript. If it is more than 1, then only we have to use a subscript for representing it. If it is 1, need not to mention. So the molecular formula of carbon dioxide will be CO2. That represents one atom of carbon combined with two atoms of oxygen to form carbon dioxide molecule. So this molecular formula CO2 represents carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon and oxygen also react to form another compound called carbon monoxide. Yes, carbon and oxygen not only they form carbon dioxide, even they can form one more compound called carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, two molecules. So a molecule of carbon monoxide contains one atom of carbon and one atom of oxygen. Here we have seen carbon dioxide how it is formed. One atom of carbon combined with two atoms of oxygen. In the formation of carbon monoxide, one atom of carbon combines with one atom of oxygen. Now, what will be the molecular formula for this carbon monoxide? Let us follow the same steps what we have followed earlier. First, the elements present in this compound, carbon and oxygen. We have written the symbols of those two elements. Next, how many atoms of these elements are present? It is mentioned here, carbon monoxide contains one atom of carbon and one atom of oxygen in each molecule. So, both are one here. If they are one, need not to mention those numbers here. Simply the molecular formula becomes now CO. It is mentioned here. CO is the molecular formula of carbon monoxide. Got it? Next, now let us see writing the molecular formula or chemical formula of different compounds by using crisscross method. How to write the chemical formula by using crisscross method? Let us see here. Let us try to write the chemical formula of a compound by using this method. Let us take one simple example. In writing the chemical formula, let us consider one molecule and let us try to write the chemical formula of that compound by using this crisscross method in step-by-step process. Okay. For example, let us write here sodium carbonate chemical formula. Now we have to follow certain steps in writing the molecular formula of any compound by using this crisscross method. So the following steps should be taken while writing the chemical formula of this sodium carbonate. See, first step here, write the symbols of each atom or group of atoms side by side. Generally, how we write means first we write positive ion followed by negative ion. That means first we write cation and followed by negative ion. If you observe here, sodium carbonate. In this molecule, positive ion or cation is a sodium ion and a negative ion or anion is a carbonate ion. So first we write sodium ion followed by carbonate ion. Sodium carbonate are written. So in the first step we write positive ion followed by negative ion. That is finished. Now let us go to second step. Okay. So in writing the chemical formula of a substance by using crisscross method, the first step is writing the positive ion or cation followed by negative ion. Side by side we have to write these two. First positive ion, second negative ion. It is finished here. Let us see second step in this. Write the valency of each atom or group of atoms at the top of its symbol. Yes. Now, after writing the symbols of those positive and negative ions, remember here positive or negative ion may be a radical also. What does it mean radical? It might be a group of atoms with a certain charge. So then the complete formula of that radical should be written as ion. Now, after writing that, the valencies of those ions should be mentioned in the superscript or at the top of their symbols. So here the positive and negative ions in this compound which you have taken are sodium ion and carbonate ion. Now sodium ion, the valency of sodium is 1. And what about carbonate ion's valency? CO3 minus 2 actually. So it will be 2 for that. So sodium valency 1, carbonate valency 2. Both are written at the top of those symbols. Okay. Second step is finished. What we have written in the second step? In the second step, we have written their valencies. Valencies of positive and negative ions are written on their top at the right side. Next, divide the valency numbers by the highest common factor, if any, to get the simple ratio. Yes. Now, observe the valencies of those two ions, those two positive and negative ions. If there any common factor, the highest common factor can be divided or eliminated from those two. Observe here, for sodium, the valency is 1 and for carbonate ion valency is 2. Can we take out any common factor from these two valencies? No. No common factor is coming. If there any common factor, that can be divided. But here in the taken example, there is no common factor in these two valencies as they are 1 and 2. So directly we write the same here. Okay. So in the third step of writing the symbols with valencies, from the valencies, the highest common factor can be divided, should be divided or should be eliminated. After that, the remaining numbers we write as the powers. Next step, interchange the valency and write the numbers to right side of the constituents as their subscripts. Now, after eliminating the highest common factor, with the remaining numbers, we have to crisscross these. Whatever the number remained here, that should be crisscrossed, written at the subscript of first element or positive ion. This number should be written as the subscript of the second ion or negative ion. See, in this way it used to be crisscrossed. Now it will become Na2CO3 Got it? Crisscrossing means we have to exchange their valencies remained after the elimination of highest common factor. So remember that we are not taking the charge symbols. Did you observe that? If you say sodium ion, actually the sodium ion formula or symbol is Na+1 because it forms positive charge. It is formed by the loss of electrons, so it will be positive ion. But we did not consider those charge symbols. Just we have taken symbol along with the valency numbers only. Sodium valency is 1, only 1 we have considered. And the carbonate ion formula actually is CO3 minus 2 or 2 minus. There will be negative charge because this carbonate ion is anion. It is considering 2 units negative charge. But here, in writing the molecular formula by using crisscross method, we considered only that number, magnitude of the charge we have taken, but we have neglected the symbol of that charge, either negative or positive. Remember that? So there will be no confusion. Now what happened here? We have written the ions and we have tried to eliminate the common factor from their charges. We have tried to eliminate the highest common factor from their charges or valencies. After that, with the remaining numbers, we have done crisscross exchange. The charge present on the cation is or the valency remained on the cation is written at the subscript of anion. And the valency number remained on the anion is written as the subscript of cation. So in that way, they are exchanged. If any constituent receives the number 1, ignore it while writing the formula. Yes, if any number, if it is remained number is 1, need not to write that number. If it is more than 1, then only compulsory that number should be written in the subscript. If a constant has more than one atom, enclose it in brackets if it carries 2 or more, mentioned as a subscripts. Okay, if it is a group of atoms and if it is carrying more than one number, then those all group of atoms should be kept in a bracket. So by following these all steps, we get the molecular formula of sodium carbonate as Na2CO3. Observe here what we have done. The valency remained after the elimination of common factor on the carbonate ion 2 is written at the subscript place of sodium. And the number remained here as valency after elimination of common factor 1 is written as the subscript of carbonate earlier. Now as it is 1, we have we didn't write that number 1. And 2 is written. If there are more than one atoms and we are writing that number, then those should be compulsory kept in the bracket. So in this way, molecular formulae of compounds are written by using crisscross method. Did you understand? I hope you understand these steps followed here. First we write positive ion followed by negative ion. And then their valency numbers are written at the top as superscripts for those at right side. Their valence numbers are written by ignoring their charge symbols. Next, third step, we eliminate or divide with the highest common factor these valencies. Just we eliminate the highest common factor from those two ions, valencies. Then, with the remaining numbers, we exchange these numbers between these ions by crisscross method. Okay, then if there is if it is getting only 1 as a number, it is need not to mention. And if there are more than 1 atoms in the ion, then those should be kept in the bracket before writing this number. If the number is more than 1 and there are more than 1 atoms in the molecule or ion, then those should be kept in the bracket. By that we get the molecular formula or chemical formula of that substance. Okay, let us see some more examples to understand easily. Say formula of hydrogen chloride. So here also first we write a positive ion followed by negative ion, that is hydrogen and Cl. H and Cl are written. Second step, their valencies are mentioned at the superscript. So hydrogen valency we know as it is 1, and for chlorine also the valency is 1. Both are mentioned. So next, their highest common factor should be eliminated from their valencies. As both are here 1, no common factor will come, so we'll skip that step. Next step, their numbers are interchanged or crisscrossed like this. The 1 present on the chlorine is written at the subscript place of this hydrogen, and the 1 present on the hydrogen is written as a subscript for chlorine. So how do we get it now? H1Cl1. We told already, if the number is 1, need not to mention that, need not to write it specifically, because if you write the symbol, it directly it represents as one atom. If there are more than 1 atoms, then only the number should be written. If it is 1, need not to write. So the formula of hydrogen chloride becomes now HCl. Okay, one more example let us try. Let us try to write the molecular formula of magnesium chloride. If you see magnesium and chlorine, their symbols are written, because first positive ion magnesium ion is written, next negative ion chlorine ion Cl ion is written, and then their valencies are mentioned at the superscript. Next, from these valencies, the highest common factor is eliminated, or these are divided with the highest common factor. As here the valencies are 2 and 1, no common factor will come, so that step is skipped. Now these valencies are interchanged with crisscross method. This one is written at the subscript of magnesium, this 2 is written at the subscript of chlorine. So in this way they are written. If it is 1, need not to mention. Now it becomes MgCl2. So the chemical formula of magnesium chloride is MgCl2. Okay, let us see some more examples for getting perfection in this. See, writing the molecular formula of calcium oxide. So first what we have to write? First calcium symbol followed by oxygen symbol. Then their valencies. Valency of calcium is 2, and even for oxygen also valency is 2. Both are written. Next, common factor. The highest common factor from those two valencies should be eliminated. Or simply to say, divide the valencies with the highest common factor. If you observe, the valencies are both 2 here. So we can divide these two valencies with 2. Now it becomes Ca1O1. Now what do we have to do? We have to crisscross these numbers. Now it becomes like this. In this way we have to crisscross this. It becomes now Ca1. Sorry, it is also 1 only, because of common factor 1. So Ca1O1. Therefore the molecular formula of calcium oxide will be CaO, because if it is 1, need not to mention specifically. The symbol itself, it represents one atom directly there. So Ca1, CaO represents the chemical formula of calcium oxide. Okay, one more example. Aluminium sulfate molecular formula. We know the first we have to write positive ion aluminium symbol and sulfate ion SO4, and we have to mention their valencies. We know the valency of aluminium is 3 and the valency of sulfate ion is 2, because the molecular formula of sulfate ion is SO4 minus 2. Now valency 2 is mentioned. In the second step what we have to do? We have to divide these valencies with the highest common factor. If you observe the valencies, there it is 3 on aluminium and 2 on sulfate. 3 and 2. No common factor will come now here. So we will skip that second step. Then next step, these valencies are interchanged at their subscripts. Now these 2 will be written at the base position of this aluminium and this 3 will be written at the subscript position of this sulfate ion. You have to remember here one thing. Here there are more than one atoms and it is getting a number more than one. Then compulsory is all atoms should be kept in the bracket. Now crisscross this, we get like this. So SO4 should be kept in the bracket before writing this number 3 here, because there are more than one atoms. For this all these 3 will be applied. Okay, now the molecular formula of aluminium sulfate becomes Al2SO4 taken thrice. So in this way is pronounced aluminium sulfate, Al2SO4 taken thrice. Okay, this is the molecular formula of aluminium sulfate. See here the chemical formula of some compounds are mentioned. Chemical formula of sodium carbonate Na2CO3. We have seen this already. Sodium valence is 1 and carbonate valence is 2. By Kristoff's method we get it. And sodium bicarbonate. In this, sodium valence is 1 and bicarbonate HCO3, hydrogen carbonate it is called. For this also valence is 1. So by crisscross we get directly NaHCO3. What about sodium hydroxide? Here also valency of sodium is again 1, and even for hydroxide ion OH minus ion is called hydroxide ion. For that also valency 1 only. If you see here copper sulfate, in this copper valency is 2 and sulfate ion valency is also 2, because SO4 minus 2 is a sulfate ion formula. So from these two now common factor 2 is eliminated, then we get the formula as CuSO4. And by coming to silver nitrate, the valencies of both are 1 here also, and even here also the hydrogen chloride also the valencies are 1 and 1. H2SO4, in this the valency of hydrogen is 1, whereas the valency of sulfate we know as it is 2. So by crisscross method we get it as H2SO4. Next one, nitric acid, H plus NO3 minus. So both are 1 valencies. Directly we write the crisscross method. One more it is shown here, ammonium chloride. It is formed by two ions, NH4 plus, which is called ammonium ion. So one way will be the valency of this ammonium ion. And one more ion, chloride ion, Cl minus. So NH4 1 Cl1. By crisscrossing these two, we get it as NH4Cl, which is called as ammonium chloride. Next one, potassium dichromate, a little bigger compound it is. In this, potassium valency is 1, because it forms an ion with a K plus symbol. Because its valency is 1, it will lose that electron and forms positive ion K plus. And this total together, these all atoms together called as dichromate, Cr2O7 minus 2. This together all together called as dichromate ion. So when these two combine, what will happen? K plus means K plus 1, Cr2O7 minus 2. So by neglecting these symbols, we get K1 Cr2O7 2. There is no common factor. Just if we crisscross these numbers, we get it as K2Cr2O7. And for these all atoms together, we are getting only the number as 1. That is why we did not keep this in the bracket. If you get any number here more than 1, compulsory these all should be kept in the bracket before writing that number. Okay, in this way we can write the molecular formula of compounds by using crisscross method. So in this crisscross method, we have to follow those steps while writing. If we follow those, we can write simply for any compound. Okay. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates and recorded videos. Thank you.